happened in the last 300 to 500 years is that Ayurveda, which is a 5,000-year-old science, felt a minor setback. During the colonial rule, all Ayurvedic colleges were shut down. Ayurveda was the primary healthcare provider in India until the colonial rule. Then, of course, India got invaded, by several dynasties. The Mughal dynasty happened. They brought in their own traditional sciences. We had the Ottomans, the Turks, the Persians, the French, the Dutch, the British. They started bringing in their own sciences, and they made Western science a primary healthcare giver. And Ayurveda was made alternative science. And all Ayurvedic colleges were shut down because they were considered a threat, for the regime, for obvious reasons. So it was shut down. Now, after the independence movement, the colleges have reopened. But what has happened in the last 300, 400 years is Ayurveda is still being practiced in regional languages. The wisdom is imparted in regional languages. That's where all the knowledge is. That's why they say language is a rich source of knowledge, right? And stories and fables and all of that. The Vedic scriptures, most of it were destroyed. Some of it has been preserved, and the formulations are still being manufactured even now. In that 300, 400-year gap, what has happened is there is a communication gap, there's a language gap, there is a time gap, and there is a lifestyle gap.
Sure.
Doctors are still communicating Ayurveda as it was communicated 400, 500 years ago. You have to start incorporating a lot of changes that has happened in the Indian subcontinent and the culture. Now we have avocado, we have millets that has now started including oats in our regime. We didn't have all of these things 500 years ago. Potato and cauliflower was not even part of our staple diet. It was brought in. Wheat was not part of a staple diet. It was brought in. So when you talk about Ayurveda, you have to talk about Ayurveda in the modern sense, in the current sense, incorporating all of these ingredients, number one. Number two, we have to bridge the gap between the doctors and the patients. So what is happening is, doctors, hats off to them, they study for 5 years and they have this amazing knowledge bank of Ayurveda. Mm-hmm. Patients come to Ayurvedic doctors when all other methods have failed, which is really wrong. You don't come to Ayurveda when everything else has failed. Ayurveda is something that you practice in your daily life without, sorry about that.
No problem.
So it's something that you practice in your daily life instead of waiting to get sick. That's called Dinacharya rituals. This is something that should have been taught in schools and colleges to children, how to take care of their oral health, their dental health, their gum health, their digestion, their metabolism, their bowel movements, how to be healthy and happy, something that should have been taught in school. Oil pulling, gandusha, gargling, brushing your teeth, scraping your tongue, drinking warm water on the empty stomach, having some digestive teas, herbal teas, what combinations of food to eat, what combination of food to avoid based on your prakriti. Finding out what your prakriti is. This is something that should be taught in schools. We all know what our blood group is, right? You know what your blood group is. If I ask you, you'll say O positive, B positive, or whatever. But if I ask you what your prakriti is, not everybody has an answer to that. Not until they have been seriously, critically sick and all other sciences have failed. And then they'll go knocking on the doors of an Ayurvedic doctor saying, can you help me? Too late.
Yeah.
Too late. Ayurveda believes in eliminating toxins on a daily basis so that it doesn't build up and cause diseases. Ayurveda believes that it's better to preserve the health of the healthy rather than cure the sickness of the sick. How do we do that?
Yeah.
Dinacharya, Ritucharya, right? Daily
Sure.
regime, seasonal regime. These are things that should have been taught in schools and colleges. If we taught our children how to be healthy, we've already taught them how to be happy. But we spend so much time teaching our kids how to be competitive, how to be aggressive, ambitious, get a job, get a bank loan, amazing career, a globe-trotting career. We didn't teach them how to be happy. And now what are we having? We're feeling the domino effect of having not taught our children how to be happy. The lockdown, the quarantine period had the highest number of kids and adults reporting depression, anxiety, stress, and exaggerated effects of the diseases. Everything got exaggerated. See, we were experiencing the domino effect because we didn't teach, we didn't invest. Now people are beginning to, pay attention. Preventive healthcare. Don't wait to get sick. Prevent diseases, boost your immunity. People who didn't even believe in Ayurveda are suddenly calling the clinic and saying, do you have Guruchi? Do you have Brahmi? And I was like, how do you even know these herbs? Do you have Galoy? And I was like, really? Do you have colloidal silver? I was like, great, bravo. For someone who rejected Ayurveda for so long, you're calling me to source all of this for you. Great job. Too little, too late, but it's better late than never.